they compromised people.
And it's been going on forever.
Yeah,
Forever, dude.
It's got to be going on right now still.
100%, but
This is not history. This is happening right now.
The fear of, we talked about this yesterday with Roger Avery, the fear of these like literally demonic human beings that are running the world and don't give a about human lives. Everybody wants to think, thank God that's not happening now. But then when you realize like that might have been happening now.
Then Joe Rogan came across something in those files that completely changed the way he saw everything. It was not just about who Jeffrey Epstein was or the powerful names connected to him. It was about what came after. The real question became even darker. If Epstein is gone, then who replaced him? Rogan did not hesitate. He suggested there are not just one, but many. The island may be gone from headlines, but that does not mean the operation stopped. The parties did not suddenly disappear. The surveillance did not shut off. And the people above Epstein did not just walk away. They adapted. They replaced him. But here is where everything shifted. January 30th, 2026, the United States Department of Justice released what was described as the largest document dump in the entire Epstein case. Over 3 million pages, 180,000 images, and thousands of videos were suddenly pushed into the public domain. The internet went into overdrive. Everyone started digging. Who was on the flights? Who visited the island? Who was connected behind the scenes? And buried deep inside that mountain of data, one unexpected name surfaced. Joe Rogan. The reaction was immediate and explosive. But Rogan responded just as fast, and what he said shifted the narrative.
Is there a Jeffrey Epstein right now that we don't know about?
Rogan explained that he had already been approached years earlier. Back in 2017, his podcast guest, physicist Lawrence Krauss, mentioned that Epstein wanted an introduction. Rogan did a simple search, saw the 2008 conviction, and immediately shut it down. That one decision kept him completely out of Epstein's world. But while verifying his own name in those newly released files, Rogan stumbled onto something much bigger, something that had nothing to do with him personally. What he saw was not just a list of names. It was a pattern, a structure, a system that did not begin with Epstein and did not end with him either. And that is the part that keeps getting buried. Every time new information comes out, the focus gets pulled back to Epstein alone, as if everything started and ended with him. But Rogan pushed a different question. Who was above him? 2 names kept appearing in those unredacted sections, and one of them stood out immediately. Les Wexner, a billionaire with deep political and social connections, best known as the founder of Victoria's Secret. According to the documents, Wexner did not just associate with Epstein. He empowered him. He handed over financial control, granted access to elite networks, and even transferred ownership of a massive Manhattan property that later became central to investigations. Reports suggested that authorities had attempted to question him, but that process never fully materialized before Epstein's death. When the 2026 files were released, Wexner's name reportedly appeared thousands of times. Yet in one critical section, the part that allegedly labeled him as a co-conspirator, his name remained redacted. That detail alone raised serious questions. Thomas Massie publicly challenged that inconsistency, pointing directly at the Department of Justice and asking why that one detail was treated differently from everything else.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm in the files for not going because Jeffrey Epstein was trying to meet with me.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
No, thanks.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad?
Yeah, but I would have never went anyway. It's not even a possibility that I would have ever went.
But
especially after I Googled them. I was like, what the are you talking about? This is
40 minutes. That is how long it took before the truth slipped out. For 40 minutes, they kept it hidden. Someone inside the United States Department of Justice made a deliberate decision to remove the co-conspirator label from a billionaire's name and only restored it after being exposed on camera. Les Wexner has always claimed he was misled, that he cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein back in 2007 after discovering the truth. But decades of shared wealth, properties, and influence tell a very different story. That is not deception. That looks like involvement. And if Wexner represents the money behind Epstein, then the next name points to something even bigger. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, a global power player and former chairman of DP World, a company controlling shipping networks across more than 70 countries. His name reportedly appears thousands of times in those files, tied to emails, exchanges, and deeply disturbing material. In one 2009 message, Epstein allegedly wrote to him referencing explicit content. And the response came back as if it was nothing, casual, routine, almost normal. When those details surfaced and his name was finally revealed, he quietly stepped down. No charges, no arrest, no real investigation. Because going after someone like that does not just affect one man. It risks disrupting global trade, political alliances, and international systems governments rely on. And that is where the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. If you are powerful enough, your name gets protected. The victims? Their identities were exposed. The people accused? Shielded.
Able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document.
Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
Let that sink in. The powerful were protected, while the vulnerable were exposed, supposedly by accident. In what was called the most important document release in this entire case, the outcome still felt controlled. Jeffrey Epstein is gone. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. And according to the United States Department of Justice, the investigation is finished. One official even stated it clearly: no new charges. Case closed.
Is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact, a list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name.
But that leaves the one question nobody in power seems willing to answer. Where did it go? Because networks like this do not collapse when one figure disappears. They shift, they rebuild. The demand does not vanish. The clients do not disappear. The leverage, the recordings, the information used to control people, none of that simply fades away. Someone steps in. Someone always does. And if you look closely at how this operation functioned, it was never just about parties or one private island. According to what surfaced in documents and testimony, Epstein's real power was the system he built. An environment designed to attract powerful people, lower their guard, compromise them, and then quietly hold control over them.
Compromised people.
And it's been going on forever.
Yeah,
Forever, dude.
It's got to be going on right now still.
100%, but
It's got to be happening somewhere where you can get away with it.
That is the blueprint. And blueprints do not disappear. They get copied. What Jeffrey Epstein built was never meant to rely on just one man. It was designed to survive him. It needed the network above him to keep running. The money from Les Wexner. The global reach tied to Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem. The political protection that kept investigators at a distance. All it needed was a new face, a new location, a new operation. And the clearest evidence that this transition happened is not what people said. It is what they did not say. Look at who stayed silent after Epstein died. Look at who never testified. Even survivors have said publicly they are not afraid of a dead man. They are afraid of the people who used him. Virginia Giuffre made that clear before her death. She said she did not fear Epstein. She feared the people still around him. The ones still here, the ones still in control. And then just weeks after speaking out, she was gone.
I bet it was a real good honeypot where there's a lot of sophisticated intellectual discourse. You got a lot of brilliant people there. You've got great music, you know. You got like famous people are hanging around too.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems really cool. And then if there's blackmail, the blackmail is like snuck into all this.
Yeah.
Snuck in, come to the room with the cameras. And next thing you know, you're doing cocaine.
The woman who knew the most. The one preparing to speak. The one with names, evidence, and a story that had not fully come out yet. Suddenly gone before anything could be released. Before the book, before the full truth. That is why people are not calling this coincidence. They are calling it a warning. Because systems like this do not survive by accident. They survive because they are protected at every level. And according to Joe Rogan, that protection is exactly what allows someone else to step into the same role without disruption.
Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus.
Rogan pointed to something deeper. Not just power, but influence. The environment itself becomes the weapon, the access, the exclusivity, the pressure. It is how people get pulled in without asking questions. It is how behavior gets normalized. It is how entire industries stay quiet for years. And voices like Terrence Howard have hinted at just how far that culture spreads behind the scenes.
How many senators just voted against releasing this man? It's just it's like there's two votes that are happening. The UFO disclosure thing, they keep voting against that.
Yeah.
And the Epstein list, they keep voting against that.
Right.
What? And also politically, it can't serve you to talk about a bad list. The list of people who said let's protect people who like have done horrific shit to kids. You want to be on that list, but whatever's on that list must be so destabilizing.
And this is where everything becomes unsettling. Because what would truly shake the system is not exposing Epstein again. It would be exposing whoever replaced him, a new operation, a different location, the same level of protection.
The same
Powerful names. The same leverage being used behind closed doors. The survivors who are still alive are not afraid of the past. They are afraid of what still exists. The structure never disappeared. It just moved. The people who funded it, protected it, and gave it access to the most powerful circles in the world are still free. Some were never even questioned. Others walked away without a single charge despite evidence that would have destroyed anyone else. Meanwhile, victims were exposed while key names were hidden. Critical evidence remained sealed. Millions of documents are still being withheld. Governments have already declared the case closed, but too many questions remain unanswered. And when someone like Joe Rogan walks away from those files disturbed, that tells you everything. Because this is no longer just about what happened. It is about what is still happening. Epstein is gone. The system is not.